Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. Hello, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at Magcargo Evolution deck, so budget build for Primal Clash on. So basically Magcargo from the Primal Clash with the barrier, which says that whenever your opponent plays a trainer card, excluding Pokemon tools and stadium cards, prevent all effects of that card done to a Magcargo. And basically we have two good attacks. The first one is a Ram for 2 energies, and the second one is a Indomitable Blaze for 60 and 60 more if your opponent Pokemon is EX. So basically with that second attack you can hit EX Pokemons for 120, which is very good, because if there are grass you can hit for 240. If there are actually fire or maybe darkness, you can also hit for 240 with the Vaporeon in play or with your Jolteon in play. Because Magcargo is a stage 1 and Jolteon and Vaporeon will provide also support for Magcargo, so you can also be a dual type with it. In my opinion, this works very well. Also, Octillery with a Beazle hand for draw support can definitely help you to draw cards until you have 5 in your hand, and it can be easily set it up with those Ultra Balls and Level Balls. And also, last Pokemon for the attack support is 1 copy of Stardust Jirachi, who can actually discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, and if you do that, you can prevent all effects done to Jirachi during your opponent's next turn from your opponent Pokemon. So in my opinion, very good. So you can play this with the Crushing Hammers as interruptive deck, or with the Bursting Balloons. So basically you have more chance if you play against non-EX decks to does much damage with the Bursting Balloons. So basically from item cards I'm running 1 Eco Arm, so I can basically shuffle 3 Pokemon tool cards from my discard pile into my deck. I'm also running 1 Escape Rope just against that Glacian, so you can actually get some chance to knock it out. Level Ball ×2, definitely good. Search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, put it into your hand. Basically you can take pretty much everything except for the Magcargo with the Level Ball, 1 copy of Super Road, 4 Trainer's Mails, 4 Ultra Balls, Ultra Ball over Heavy Ball because you can discard some cards from your hand in order to play a Beazle hand, so it's better than Heavy Ball. Plus you can also search any kind of Pokemon with it. And of course 4 copies of V-Seeker. From supporter cards I'm running 1 Hex Maniac. It can definitely help a lot to shut down your opponent's abilities in play. Once you're done with the Beazle hand and draw support, you can just shut down your opponent with the Hex Maniac. It can definitely be good against Greninja Breaks, but I'm not sure how good you can be with this deck against Greninja Break. Also 1 Lysander, 6 draw supporters, 2 N and 4 Sycamores. Also 1 Wooly as a tap for maybe turn 1 Octillery, but also in the middle late game can definitely be a good card. 1 Scorched Earth only for Stadium card, 4 Bursting Balloons and 2 Flowstones for those tool cards. Definitely Bursting Balloon is good, because if you can hit for 120 EX and you have Bursting Balloon attached on it, 99% of EXs will knock it out itself if he tries to attack you if you have Bursting Balloon attached. 10 energies in total, 4 double covers and 6 fire energies, so that's 10 energies in total. So if you're looking for any of these cards, as usual, you can find them at CCGCastle.com. I provide you the link in my video description, so you can definitely check that, and you can get 5% discount on your purchase by typing TCG Center 5 code. So in my opinion, this Magcargo deck is very good. I will try to play 1 or 2 games with it, depend on how actually I will get randomly opponents. Because a lot of people actually leaves the game when they're losing, so it's very hard in the last few days to record normal video, and I will do my best. So it's definitely good. At least you have very solid budget build and deck list for the future Primal Clash on. I think you can actually get this for like maybe $40–50. It's very cheap entire build. So yeah, pretty much if you're new to the game, you should probably pay around that. But if you're an old school player and you have some item cards like a V-Seeker, Octillery, Trainer's Mail, Ultra Balls, all you really need is just to buy those Lagmas Magcargos for actually pretty cheap, like maybe $4 everything. So yeah, let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in the action. Alright guys, so let's do this. I'm calling the heads, and looks like I'm going to start second. So playing against pure fire deck. Let's see which one my opponent actually played. So I'll promote my Slugma into the active spot, and I'm going to put down on the bench Eevee, Remoraid, and another Slugma, which is a very good start, to be honest. Alright, so there's some kind of the Pyro deck, and I also see rare candies, so that might be a Delphox break, or maybe Pyro with some kind of crazy combination with yeah, just a regular Delphox, who knows. Definitely we'll find out, so let's take a look on some top cards. So V Seeker and Escape Rope, alright. So, the game plan is definitely to bring in play Vaporeon as fast as I can, because then I can one-hit knock out my opponent. Basically Pyro for 120. There is a Robust Substitute, very interesting. Pyro is very good. That ability actually prevent your opponent basic Pokemons that cannot attack Pyro, so in my opinion Pyro is very still good card. There is one Fire Energy attached on the Litleo, and pretty much that's it. So I guess I'm going to play N right here. I don't want to throw out my Super Road yet from the play, but actually I also want to give the opportunity to my opponent to take fresh 6 cards into his hand. Let's take a look with the Trainer's Mail. There's a Lysander, which will be good to play for the Ultra Ball on my next turn. So I'm going to pass right here and basically wait to see what my opponent can do. Will he be able maybe to get that Pyro into play? Who knows? For the next turn I have my Ultra Ball. I can actually search my deck pretty much either way for Vaporeon, or I don't know, maybe for Artillery, and pretty much go with my Sycamore for 7. It really depends. So there is one more Fire Energy attached on that Litleo, and he actually decided to pass his turn. So I'm going to play my Ultra Ball right here for N and Lysander. So this time I'm not going to give my opponent opportunity to actually get fresh hand of 6 new cards. There is a Floatstone. Before I actually play my Sycamore, I will just play my Eco Arm for that one Bursting Balloon and put it into my deck. So there's Sycamore for 7. Okay, I was not able yet to find a double Colress Energy, but there's still good chance to hit one. So I will pick my another Slugma, and after that, of course, Bursting Balloon, Ultra Ball for Wally and Sycamore for my Artillery. So I can have that Abyssal hand for 4, and all I really need is... I even don't need double Chorus. Oh, actually, I need double Chorus Energy. Oh, I don't need, actually. Totally forget I can also use my Ram right there. But I actually managed to get a double Chorus, so I'm going to hit 420. So far, so good. So first prize taken, 5 more to go. And even without that double Chorus Energy, I would be able to use my Ram for 60, which would be enough to knock out my opponent Litleo, because I have that Vaporeon in play and Litleo is 60 HP. So I managed to take a prize and knock out 2 of my opponent energies from the play, which is very good. So he actually again decided to pass his turn, so this looks like just a single straightaway game. So I'm going to play my V-Seeker for N one more time. No, I don't want to play a Abyssal hand. Let's help to my opponent a little bit more. So there's another Eevee, and I'm definitely going to put that onto my bench. And I will play my Ultra Ball for one more Magcargo, and we'll put it into the play. So I still have a Abyssal hand, and I can definitely use that, because I never know if my opponent actually maybe can somehow surprise me for the next turn. I will try to search my deck for a Bursting Balloon and play it right here. So I even help him a little bit with my Scorched Earth right there, so there is Intimidator, Blaze or something like that. Unfortunately I cannot take prize right now, but I'm more than happy. I have 2 more Cargos already in play. They can hit for 120 since I have my Vaporeon in play. actually decide to discard my Jolteon because I'm not going to need it in this matchup. So there's a Lysander for Vaporeon, and he's looking forward maybe somehow to knock out my Vaporeon. There's 1 energy for his Fennekin on the bench. But more than that, I'm afraid that would be it. And there's Braixen, and what else he can do, we'll try to find out. Probably not too much, so I'm going just to retreat right here with my double chorus energy onto my Magcargo. I'm going to play one of my Abyssal hands. Abyssal hand for 1. There's another Magcargo. I can definitely play that. And I can hit for 120 again, which will be enough to knock out. We'll take 1 more prize. And yeah, my opponent pretty much stays in the play with his Braixen. He can take maybe somehow his Delphox, which he did. So with the Delphox he can do a lot of damage actually. There's a Blacksmith, 2 energies, that's 110. And even with energy from hand he can 1-hit knockout. I don't know why I didn't put energy on my previously turn onto my Magcargo and maybe even go with the V-Seeker for N for the better maybe 4 new cards, but never mind. There's Ultra Ball, so that means that he's going to search his deck for another Fennekin, and before he attacks he can use Mythical Fire for 6 cards. Alright. And there's another Robust Substitute that just came into the play. And Blaze Ball for 110, which is actually enough to 1-hit knock out my Magcargo, so I'm going to promote another one into the active. There is Double Chorus, there is Bursting Balloon, there is even Abyssal Hand for 1 before I actually play my Ultra Ball. Alright, so another Ultra Ball for another Slugma for the bench, of course. And I'm going to hit for 120 right here. If he wants to attack me next turn, he will definitely knock out his Delphox. Only if he manages to find Delphox Break, in that case he will survive somehow, because I think Delphox Break is 190 HP, or maybe 100, no, it's 180 actually. So there's another Lysander for Vaporeon. He definitely needs to get rid of that Vaporeon from play, that's for sure. So there's Ultra Ball. Let's see, will that be for another Braixen, or maybe just for a Delphox Break? Oh, for another Litleo actually. So I played my Super Road, I think. Oh no, I didn't. So I can actually put back my Vaporeon into my deck. So there's Mystical Fire for 3. I can actually put my Vaporeon back with the Super Road into my deck, and I can search it with my Level Ball. I still have 1, or even I can play V-Seeker for Wally, so not a big deal. Since I have my Eevee on the bench, I can easily respond to my opponent. Plus, I also need to put 1 more Magcargo from my discard pile into my deck and few more energy cards. So there's Blaze Ball for knockout, of course. It will be a 110. Alright, so 3 balloons discarded. It's time to energy attachment. It's time for Abyssal Hand, and it's time for, oh, very nice, there's Magcargo. Let me see a little bit right here. I'm going to discard my Fire Energy. Alright, very nice. I was looking for that Jirachi, but I think I will not play it yet. So there's a Super Road. I'm going to bring back my Vaporeon into my deck and 2 of my Fire Energies, because I have 3 Magcargos in play, so I don't need that many resources. And actually I'm going to play my V-Seeker right there for Wally, so I can actually have my Vaporeon in play, and I can again start to attack for a weakness my opponent. So I'm going to retreat and hit for 120 again. So looks pretty decent. I'm going down to 3 prizes, but the thing that concerns me actually is the fact that I have like 9 cards left, and there's another Robo Substitute, but luckily I have my V-Seeker in my hand, so that V-Seeker can actually give me a chance to use Lysander and knockout either way Fennekin or Litleo from my opponent bench, so that will definitely be the good thing for me. Probably I'm going to knock out his Pyro. Of course, if he don't knock out me before I actually manage to knock out his Pyro. So there is a Blacksmith, so he can definitely put 2 energies on his Pyro right there, and he can just discard his Robo Substitute and pretty much knock out my Magcargo. So that means that I will have like 2 more left in play. Alright, so Pyro is going to hit for 110 in order to discard 1 energy, of course. Then all I really need is just a single fire energy. And I actually have like 5 energies left from my 9 cards. Of course, I'm going to promote my Magcargo with a Floatstone into the active. I'm going to play my V-Seeker right here, and I'm going to play my N. So I'm going to end myself down to 3, then I can still play a Beazle hand, but the most important, I managed to grab that fire energy. So why I shouldn't play my Beazle hand when I can. Alright, so another 120, enough to knock out that Pyro, and I'm going down to 2 prizes and also 5 cards in my deck left. So also that V-Seeker is very important because I can somehow take advantage and knock out my opponent Fennekin, or maybe even Delphos on the bench if he actually evolves somehow into it. So I have enough energy cards. Unfortunately, I don't have any double colors energy left. But I have Flowstone just in case if my opponent actually Lysander my Artillery or Vaporeon with 2 retreat cost. Alright, so there is a Braixen on the bench, so that means that probably I'm going to play my V-Seeker for Lysander. Or maybe I should save my V-Seeker for N, just in case. If something like... first I will search actually my deck with my level ball so I can see if I have left Floatstone in it, and it means that I don't have left Floatstone in my deck. So it's very risky right there to play actually a V-Seeker for Lysander, but that pretty much can give me the victory right here if I actually manage to grab Floatstone from my prize card. So let's take a look. 120, I managed to knock out his Braixen, and without draw support this is pretty much GG, but yes it is. So my opponent actually managed to concede the game, and I actually won against this fire deck. So right now you can see how actually good Magcargo can be for a budget build for the future Primal Clash on format. It's pretty decent deck. It can definitely be set up pretty well and fast, and you can hit 3 different type of Pokemons for the weakness. You can hit those grass types for weakness, you can hit those fire type, and you can also hit those light and darkness types who are actually weak onto the lighting Pokemons. You can also have good drop support with Artillery and good backup support with the Jirachi and Stardust, so you can actually take 1 turn without taking damage counters. And also with the Bursting Balloon you can definitely take some advantage over your opponent, basically because if he wants to attack he needs to take 6 damage counters back, so you can pick between Bursting Balloons and actually Crushing and Enhanced Hammers. In my opinion you can also replace 4 Bursting Balloons for maybe 4 Crushing Hammers, and maybe add 1 more Enhanced Hammer for 1 any other card. But pretty much everything else looks just fantastic because of that Magcargo actually had a barrier who will just be blocked all of your opponent item and training cards that will be played onto Magcargo, and you are pretty much safe on the bench. So, in my opinion, deck is definitely good, and it definitely worth to play as a budget roach deck for the future Primal Clash on format. So once again, I hope you enjoy watching this little short video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you already didn't for more future videos. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave comments below. And yeah, that's pretty much all. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye. Alright guys, so let's kick off with going first. So basically I'm trying to set up on my turn 1 as best as I can. So my opening hand looks pretty decent. That Trainer's Mail and Ultra Ball, not bad. I mean, with the Ultra Ball I can at least search my deck for a Ramrite, put it onto my bench. On the other side it's some kind of the Fairy deck. I wonder if it's Mega Gardevoir or something else. I will definitely find that out. So very nice setup for my opponent, that's for sure. And it's actually a Florges, and I managed to get a very nice top deck, which is a level ball. So I will pick one of my Ramarites, put it onto my bench. Of course I'm going to attach one of my Fire Energies. I will search my top 4 cards with a Trainer's Mail, and there is a Lysander, so I guess I can use the Lysander to actually surprise my opponent right there for that Flabébé maybe. And we'll pass the turn for now. So for the turn 2 I can have a Beazle hand for 5. Basically there's a Xerneas, so without Stadium my opponent will not be able to retreat, so I can buy some time right there. There's Shauna for 5. Alright. Fairy Energy attached onto the Florges. There is Shane for the setup. Always good to see Shaman in play, especially when you can one-hit knock it out. So I will definitely need a way to take that Florges into the active spot, or maybe even better, try to knock out his Shaman on the bench. So there is Professor's Letter for my opponent that will give him a chance to take 2 more Fairy Energies into his hand. Alright, so it's my turn. There is Magcargo as the top deck, so I can definitely play that. And I can play my Ultra Ball right there for Artillery. So I can have my Abyssal hand for 5. That's the most important thing right there. So even with the Ram I will have enough damage to knock out my opponent Flabébé, but I'm looking for something bigger and better. There is Trainer's Mail, 4 V-Seeker, and 4 DN. So what can I pick between these twos? Probably I can take early 2 prize knockouts with my V-Seeker. I can take a risk right here. Oh, I cannot. I don't have double cores in my hand. Oh, goodness. Oh my lord, what did I do right now? So, going to hit for 30 actually. Still will be enough for the knockout, I guess. So one less fairy Pokemon for my opponent in play, and there's another Remoraid for the bench. Totally forget about that. Never mind, maybe this is even better, because right now my opponent, Florges, will not be able to hit for a lot of damage if he don't have like one more fairy Pokemon in play. So far he can hit for 100. Because of that Muscle Band, but right now he can hit for 120, which is even worse, because he can one-hit knock out my Magcargo, and that's definitely something that I don't want to see in play. But in order to do that, he needs to take 6 damage counters back. So there is a Aromatisse, but not the good one. So this is the not good one, Aromatisse, and I'm actually very surprised. There is also Fluet and a Wally, so I will probably see, oh, nothing, alright. Bright Garden for 120. And 6 damage counters on that Bursting Balloon, so that means that I'm going to promote my Artillery in the active spot. Very nice top deck. It's actually time to put some of the resources back into my deck. And to play Sycamore for 7. So there is a Eevee, but I will promote into the active spot just probably Remoraid. There is a Level Ball, which is better than Ultra Ball. So I'm going to play my Level Ball for 1 Slugma. I'm going to put it down to my bench, attach 1 energy, and I guess first I'm going to play my Abyssal Hand. Okay, not bad. So there we go with the Remoraid into the active spot. So if he wants to knock out Remoraid, he needs to take 6 damage counters back in order to do that, but this is definitely not something that he would like to do. There is a Florges. Alright, so a lot of fairy Pokemons in play already for my opponent. Pretty much he can hit for 120, knock out my Remoraid, take 1 prize, or he can actually just pass and give me maybe the chance to... oh yeah, there's a Bright Garden, very nice. So he didn't take a risk, he just goes straight away for the knockout right there, which is not very good for him, I should definitely say that, because right now I can actually knock him out. Oh, very nice, there is even Scorched Earth. I can even play my Vaporeon, but I guess I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to play my V-Seeker right here for Sycamore, and again I will not play my Abyssal Hand for only 1 card. I will actually take a little bit with it. So there is Magcargo, which is very good. Right now I can actually knock out my opponent Florges. There is even Bursting Balloons, so let's hit for 120. And take 2 more prize cards. That means that I need a V-Seeker for Lysander, so I can knock out his Shaman on the bench. And I just need 1 more prize to take in order to win this game. And I think that the easiest way to do that is probably to Lysander his Aromatisse, not a good one with the Fairy Garden or Fairy Transfer. So let's see what he will promote into the active spot. I will expect probably Xerneas with the Geomancy, but who knows. So for the next turn, I have Eco Arm ready, so I can put my Bursting Balloons back into my deck, and I can just easily go with my Sycamore for 7, or maybe even with the N. Maybe even with N. I really don't know. Definitely, I want to keep my Magcargo available, but with this I can just discard a full line of the Magcargo into my discard pile, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. So with the Florges you can search a deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. There is a Florges break, and it says that you can heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon in play. Alright, so there's a Fairy Garden, very nice, and a Level Ball, so what he can take with the Level Ball right there, let's see. Just another Spritzy for another Aromatisse, I guess. And will he have energy card in his hand? No, looks like my opponent does not have energy in his hand, so that's very bad for him, I should definitely say that. I'm going to play my Ultra Ball right there, just I can grab 1 more Slugma, put it down into the bench. And I will actually help him a little bit right there. I'm going to play N instead of the Sycamore. So first I'm going to put some of my Bursting Balloons back into my deck, so N for 3. There is a double Chorus, and Abyssal Hand for 3 cards. So there is another Eevee. I'm going to hit for 60 right there. I'm unable to hit for the weakness Fairy type Pokemons because they are actually weak onto the metal. But the good thing is that I have V-Seeker in my hand, and I can actually Lysander my opponent with Shaman on the bench next turn for 2 prizes, and that's the thing what I'm going to do. And I'm going to grab 2 prizes and pretty much do the great job right there. So there's a Fairy Drop, very nice. He healed 50 damage from his Florges. So that Florges will definitely makes a lot of head edge to me. But I still have enough resources in my deck, so I don't have to worry too much about that. So Magcargo is next in evolution line, and also that double color synergy is going to be attached onto another Slugma. Or maybe I can even keep that into my hand just in case my opponent actually discard my Floatstone and maybe Lysander my Artillery, so I can have a chance to retreat. And there is the good one Aromatisse right now, finally, for my opponent. Okay, so he can definitely transfer energies from one to other Pokemon, which means that he can even retreat onto his Xerneas on the bench and maybe use Geomancy. But no, he just decided to go with the Brilliant Search for 3 any cards and put them into his hand. So definitely good move right there also, but he don't have energies for attack. Alright, so 2 Swirlix and 1 Evolution from it. So there are 2 Magcargos, which is very good. So I'm going down to 1 prize right here. This is 100% clear. I'm going to Lysander my opponent Shaman and hit for 120. And I'm going to take 2 prizes right there. But before I do that, I will try to search my deck for 3 more cards with Abyssal Hand. Maybe I can get, oh, another VS Seeker, which is good. So let's go for 120. So there is a Fire Energy and another Artillery. So I need to do like 60 more damage, and I think that the best way to do that is... it's a little bit tricky because of that Fairy Garden, so I need to be very cautious about playing my last VS Seeker, that is for sure. So that Florges can actually heal 30 damage. That will... oh, so he put that Swirlix on the bench. That means that this game is pretty much GG, because I have VS Seeker for last Lysander in my hand, which will give me the chance to actually knock out my opponent's Swirlix on the bench and basically finish this game, because I can hit for 60, which is enough damage to knock out that Swirlix. Without that, I would probably make a lot of problems to actually get my last prize, because that Florges can actually heal 30 damage from active Pokemon. So there's a Wooly, and let's see. Oh no, he actually managed to get that Schlurproof right now into the play. So okay, I can hit for 30 between turns. That's the best thing that I can do right now. Actually for 60, but he can heal 30. This is going to be very tricky to take last prize right there, that is for sure. This deck does 20 damage to each of your opponent Pokemons. Look at that. Battle Blizzard. He can do a lot of damage to my bench. A lot of damage. With 5 turns he can take the knockout of a lot of my Pokemons in play, but he actually decided to retreat on his Schlurproof and passes his turn, so this will even helps a little bit right there, because I'm going to hit for 60 and he can heal actually 30 damage off from it, which means that I can again Lysander it and take the knockout and pretty much finish the game. So I don't know why he actually didn't decide to attack with his Forge's Break and just spread 20 damage to all of my Pokemon in play. That would definitely be the better option for him, because he's down to 4 prizes, and like a few turns of doing that, he might be able to actually take the knockout of 4 of my Pokemon in play and win this matchup. But he actually just decided to retreat onto his Schlurproof, and right now he actually stuck in the active spot with it. Probably he can free retreat with energy attachment, or he can even just use Fairy Transfer. So there is 30 damage heal off from his Schlurproof. I'm not sure what his plan right here is, but there's a Fairy Transfer and he can actually retreat. But the good thing is that I have that VS Seeker in my hand ready, and that will definitely bring me a chance to knock out his Schlurproof. So let's wait a little bit more. Alright, I really like the art of the Magcargo. It looks just badass. It's just badass. It's a full art card. I think it's actually a holo card. So yeah, this is GG. I'm going for my VS Seeker for Lysander, and we are going to the game number 2 after I actually knock out my opponent Schlurproof. So let's move to the game number 2 for this Magcargo deck test, so you can actually see a little bit more of this deck in the action.